Hi everyone, it's Wendy at the library. I'm going to show you how to make our really cute Pinecone Gnome ornaments. We've got some great gnome crafts this year, so this is just another one that we're adding to the collection. And we'll get started. I want to let you know what you'll get in your kit first of all. You will be getting a little template for the cone hat. So just cut this out and you'll have the size that you'll need for the cone hat. And it would be like this on this piece of felt. You will be getting a small piece of colored felt for the hat. You'll be getting a pine cone. The pine cones have been baked slowly in my oven, and the places where the pitch was all, it melts it on so that it's kind of shiny like a shellac, but it's also touchable. It's not sticky like pine pitch. You'll be getting some white paint and a paintbrush, and you'll get a few different colored pom-poms. So I'm going to turn the camera down and let you see how we'll get started. You will need your own glue gun at home, so please be aware of that. If this is a child who's doing it, please have the parent assist. And to get started, like I said, you would cut out that little template. And I usually line my hat up right in the corner, and then just hold the paper on it, or you can draw the line with a pencil, but I hold it and just cut around it. I always cut it a tinge bigger than the paper. I go just a little bit outside the edge because I'd rather have a hat that's big that I can make a little smaller if I have a small pine cone. But if I get a really large pine cone, I want to be able to fit that hat on top. So there's my shape, and we'll set that aside. Oh, you will also be getting a little string. So, all right, so here's the hat. I'm going to glue this first so we can set it aside. So I always fold it in how I would normally glue it. I like to fold it to C. And then I hold it like that. And I'll run some hot glue along the edge. Let me get my glue gun. All right, so hold it down. And be very careful, adults, too, because once you get up near the top and you touch it, it can be quite hot and burn your little fingertips. So I do a really thin line right along the whole edge. And then I fold it over. And I want to overlap it just about 1/4 of an inch. Keep folding. When I get to the top, what will help is I'll take the edge of my paintbrush and push it down, so I can get that across. And if there's a little opening at the top, that is okay, because we're actually going to snip that off. So I don't mind that little bit of an opening. And then we put it down. And with glue guns, you get all those hairs. There we go. And then just make sure it's not glued inside, that it's not stuck to the other side if the glue gets squished out amongst it. And that little top that's sticking out, I just cut that off. And that gives me a nice place to glue my pom-pom on. So that's what you'll need to do for your hat, and decide which pom-pom you'd like for a nose. These little pom-poms are gold, but I didn't have any more gold, but I did have brown for the nose, or yellow for the nose, or even white, or a different color. I've done the gnomes with red noses, and they're really cute. But I think for my hat, I want to glue a white pom-pom on the tip. And I'm just going to put a little dot of glue. Oops, my glue gun just emptied out on me. Okay, let me stick that back in. All right, I'm going to put a little dot of glue on that top surface now, which is nice because it will hold a pom-pom great. And just set that pom-pom down on. I wiggle it a little bit and then hold it. Then let it go. We're going to let it dry. If you can pinch it down, that's okay too. But you just don't want to burn your fingers, so be careful. There we go. And we'll let that dry. And then you'll see the way that we hang our gnomes is we bend over the hat and put the cord inside there. So we need some glue in there to hold that bend down. So when we're bending the hat, be aware of where the back seam is. Hold it facing you, and do a bend to the side. So that is where my bend's going to be. I'm going to take my string and tie the ends together. I like to hold them together and then just tie them, and then nice and tight, snug it up. Whoops, that didn't snug it up at all. So try again if it doesn't work the first time. It only tied on one of the cords, so all right, there we go. We're gonna snug that up. There we go. And then any excess string you would cut off so it's really short at the end. Can you see how the knot is there, and then I cut it right off? So we're going to take our hat and lay it down where our fold is going to be. I'm going to put a glob of glue. There we go. And I'm going to lay the knot right on top of it. That's awesome. And then fold the hat over and pinch. And this one you do have to hold while it's drying because you really want that fold to hold in place. So I'm just going to hold it for a couple seconds extra. And then now that the hat is done, we will set this aside, and then you know it's ready. Next part that we're going to be doing is painting the tips of our pine cone to make it look like there's a beard when our gnome is hanging. So there we go. I'm going to hold that aside. So see, when you're holding your gnome and those tips are painted, it looks like a white beard underneath that nose. So that's what we'll be doing. So take your white paint. It'll be a small bottle or these tall skinny ones. Oh, and here's another fact too, that later on this stem, some of the pine cones have long stems, maybe in the way of when we put the hat on. So I usually just take it and snap it off. Because the pine cones have been cooked, it's pretty dry and it snaps off really easy. So you need to take this and use your paintbrush. Let me grab that again. And just start painting the tips of your pine cones. Now you don't have to paint them all at the way at the top, but I get kind of close because I don't know how big my hat is really going to be. And if I get real close, can you see how these pine cones have brown tips and they're even darker on the inside? I always try to cover all the brown. So I would just go around my pine cone, color those pine tips. As I'm turning, I might see a spot that I missed, fill it in, those white tips. So it doesn't take very much paint, but it really changes the way it looks. Very frosty and wintry for sure. So that's all you need to do. Go right ahead and go around your whole pine cone and go all the way down. When you get down to the bottom, paint those tips really good too, because you want it to look like the continuation of the beard. Now these ones might be a little close. The hat might not have covered it, so I might just come ahead and paint these top ones. I just like having the top plain because it's my holding spot. So that as I'm painting, I have something good to hold on to. So finish painting your whole pine cone and set it aside. It needs to dry. So I have one that I've set aside that is dry. And you'll see, not my top, but I've painted all the way down, and I painted these tips pretty good too. So it's pretty much set. And then we'll take this hat, and you want to say that this is the front of your hat because you see the side, but it's the front, not the seam side. And I actually turn around and I put it on my pine cone and go, yeah, that's pretty good. I guess a nose could go there. Let me turn my pine cone. That's pretty good. Ooh, the nose could go underneath there and that hole a little better. Some of our pine cones have a curve to them. So you might decide, do you want that curve going to the side, or do you want it going to the back or the front? Because pine cones are from nature. They're not all straight and perfect. So play around before you put your hat on. I think I do like it like that, so I'm going to lay my pine cone down and do a ring of hot glue inside. So this is where the kids, you'll want to have your parents help you again. Just put this ring of hot glue in. If you're a little older and you use hot glue guns, then you'll be fine. You know how to be careful with them, because when it touches you, it does burn. There we go, squish it down. Now, if this was a smaller pine cone, oh, the hat might go way down, even further than I want, and you can actually trim your hat. There we go. I'm not sure. I think I might give him a brown nose. Let me see. He looks pretty good. It shows up against the blue hat. That's why I gave you a couple different choices. once you put the hat on, you'll see what really shows up well or not. Let's try the red nose. Oh, he's kind of cute too with the red nose. I'm going to try the yellow nose. Yellow's pretty bright against that hat. So you can choose and do whatever you would like. I think I'm going to do the red nose. Once I put it underneath there and tried it out, I figured, oh, that was pretty good. I'm going to put a little glue under my hat and a little glue on that pine cone ledge right there. So let me turn this up so I can see. I'll put a dot there, and I'll put a dot in there. Oh, it's a big dot, but that's okay. And then I shove my little pom-pom in, push the hat down over it. It's nice that the hat goes up and over, so I don't mind that. I like to pinch it down around it that way. There we go. And that is our Pinecone Gnome. It's pretty easy, isn't it? It's great. And you know what? If you make this as an ornament and put it on your tree, it will show up really well in those branches because of the white pine cones. So when you have a colored hat or colored pom-poms, it even makes it pop more. So I hope you have fun with this craft. I did. I have a lot of Pinecone gnomes around my place right now. But have fun and have a great holiday season, everyone. Bye-bye.